Topic 1. Apple reclaimed the title of the world's most valuable company. Apple beat Nvidia to become the world's most valuable company again as of Monday's close, the first time since April 2025, with Apple's market cap near $4.95 trillion after a 1% rise, while Nvidia fell about 5% to roughly $4.777 trillion. Nvidia's slide was triggered by worries about large AI infrastructure capital spending and reports that Nvidia is in talks to back OpenAI financing, fueling a pullback across AI chip stocks. Apple's stock has risen about 24% year-to-date versus Nvidia's roughly 4%, and investors appear to favor Apple's strategy of avoiding massive AI capex and leasing external capacity, which helped re-rate the company. Nvidia still benefits from multi-year AI revenue growth and has drawn investor attention to memory and data center infrastructure names, while Apple will report fiscal Q3 on Thursday and may disclose effects from AI-related memory shortages and June price raises for Macs and iPads. Topic 2. Treasury yields dipped ahead of a Fed decision. Ahead of Wednesday's FOMC rate decision, U.S. Treasury yields edged lower, the 10-year at 4.628%, down more than 1 basis point, the 2-year at 4.31%, down 1 bp, 30-year at 5.18%, about 1 BP per down. Markets widely expect the Fed to hold the policy rate at 3.75%, but price about a 56% chance of a September hike, CME FedWatch. A temporary de-escalation between the U.S. and Iran helped push oil lower, WTI $81.2796%, Brent $86.63 minus 2%, and easing geopolitical risks weighed on longer-dated yields. In short, both short and long yields slipped slightly as investors awaited the Fed decision and digested softer geopolitical and oil price signals. Topic 3. Johnson & Johnson offering up to $5.5 billion to settle baby powder cancer claims. Johnson & Johnson proposed a settlement to resolve roughly 76,000 talc-related lawsuits linked to breast and ovarian cancer, offering about $5.5 billion in total, with up to $3 billion payable in 2027 and the remainder after 2028. The total could rise depending on participation. The deal would require at least 95% of claimants represented by the plaintiffs' counsel to agree, covers existing ovarian cancer claims only, and excludes future suits, and although some per-claim amounts are set, plaintiffs' lawyers say the ultimate payout could exceed $7 billion. J&J denies causation and labels the suits unfounded, but seeks the settlement to avoid further litigation. Past trials have produced both massive verdicts and defense wins, and a federal judge has raised questions about roughly 69,000 cases by requiring individual causation proof. The company discontinued talc baby powder in the U.S. in 2020 and worldwide in 2023, switching to cornstarch, and frames the proposal as a way to resolve legacy litigation. Topic 4. FAA findings about incorrectly installed seats on hundreds of Boeing 737 MAX jets. The FAA issued a preliminary airworthiness directive after finding that some passenger seats on hundreds of Boeing 737 MAX aircraft were incorrectly installed on the seat tracks, warning the condition could injure passengers during an emergency landing. The directive applies to 453 U.S. registered planes and notes up to 69 track-mounted seat assemblies per aircraft could be affected, with each assembly repair taking about 1 man-hour. The FAA did not specify repair deadlines or whether the order applies to foreign carriers, and Boeing had not issued an immediate public response. Regulators are ordering inspections and corrective action to address the safety risk. Topic 5. Recent polls show a sharp consumer response to a Cyclospora outbreak. About 40% say they're buying less fresh produce. A CBS YouGov poll of 2,193 U.S. adults, July 22 to 24, minus 2.7%, found 40% are buying less fresh produce since the Cyclospora outbreak. 4% are buying more, and 56% report no change. Only 13% a lot trust the FDA, while 47% say they do not trust the agency. The FDA launched an investigation but withdrew test results tying